everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea, and today we have my third or fourth update for Pan Those Eyeshadows. I'm not sure which one it is, but this project was started by Alexi a few years ago as a way to get more use out of your whole eyeshadow collection. And even though she's not doing it anymore, I think she's just doing Pan That palette, so many people have started doing it. So if you want to check out more videos by other people, just search Pan Those Eyeshadows and you will have probably days upon days of content to binge watch. But with that being said, let's get right into it. I have 6 shades in this project, 3 from palettes, 3 from my singles. I'm going to be rolling some out. I don't have any pan, but they've kind of hit my sort of rules that I've set for myself as far as how many uses / how long they've been in the project. And there's one, well, you'll see. So I'm going to start with the shades in my palettes. The first shade I have is this shade White Peach from my Sweet Peach palette. I think you'll be able to see there is a pretty sizable dip going on. Now this has been in my project for 2 months. Oh, and I pre-swatched so I wouldn't forget. So let me see. It's this, I mean, it's just a standard cream shade. We've seen those a million times, but this has been in my project for 2 months, and my rule is if it's been in for 2 months, I can roll it out. This, even though I'm rolling it out, it's still going to unofficially be in the project unless I roll in another cream shade, which I really hope I don't, because I worked on the cream from the Emily edit and the Wants palette, and then I rolled this one in right after that. So I'm kind of done rolling in cream shades. So unless I roll in another cream shade, this is going to be the unofficial 7th shade, because that dip looks pretty good. And I think I'll hit pan in the next month or 2, but I don't want it taking up a spot that could go to like an actual colorful shadow. So that's the first shade. The second shade is this color Glowing from my BH Cosmetics Aurora Lights palette. Here is a swatch of it right there. This has also been in the project for 2 months and it's getting rolled out. Actually, I have my usage sheet. That White Peach shade I use for my brow bone, so I use that every single time I do my makeup. That Glowing shade, I've used it 14 times in April and I used it 6 times in March. So I used it 20 times and there's barely a difference. It's a baked shadow, so I've never hit pan on a baked shadow, but though they're domed and I just know there's a ton of product, and I'm not going to keep it in for, you know, the entire year, which is probably how long it would take me to hit pan on that. So that one's getting rolled out. And then the last shadow that's in a palette, but this shade is staying, is this fuchsia shade from this CoverGirl True Naked Dazed palette. I don't know if you'll be able to see. I do have a dip going on. I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to hit pan on this for next month. I don't think I will, but I'm probably going to keep this in the project until I hit pan, because I know how deep these are and I don't think it'll be a problem. But here is, oops, it's this top shade over here. Oh, and by the way, I'm wearing all 6 of these shadows on my eyes today. So I used that one. I used it 11 times, and for 11 uses, to me, there's a noticeable dip. So yeah, I don't think it'll be too much of a problem to hit pan on that. The only single shadow I'm rolling out is this Meech and Mia pigment. Now for pigments and stuff like that, I do have the rule 20 uses and I can roll them out. I actually used, counting today, I used this 21 times because one of the times was using it to do eyeshadow nails, which I will link that video up in the cards if you want to see it. But here is a swatch. It's a really pretty like white with a gold shift pigment. I have it on my inner corner, but I did use that the 20 times, so that's going bye-bye. And then I have two single shadows. The first is this ColourPop Say I Do. I've used this 18 times and you can like barely tell. ColourPop mattes are really tightly pressed. So I'm definitely not gonna have pan on it by next month, but depending on what I roll in this month, I may keep it in longer than the 2 months just because it's a nice transition shade. And that's what I've got in my transition today. But here's a swatch of it right there. And then the last shadow is, this is the old Makeup Geek shadows in the round pans. This is Secret Garden. I think you'll be able to see I have a pretty decent dip in this. I used it 16 times, so if I keep using it the way I have been, and a lot of the times I've been using it as a liner, so that's I think part of the reason I have such a big dip. Here's the swatch right here. It's just one of those like reddish brown bases with the green, dark green pigment duochrome on top, but that's what's in my outer corner today. But I really, really like this shadow. And even if I don't hit pan on it by next month, I'm probably not going to roll that one out either, because based on the progress I've had, if I don't hit pan by next month, then the month after that, I definitely will have pan. So those are the 6 shades in my project. I do have 1 bonus pan this month. I was hoping for 2, but I only have 1. It's going to be really hard to see because this is a black. Hopefully, if it doesn't show up on camera very well, I'll take a picture, but this is how I know that it's not going to be too much longer or too hard for me to hit pan on that fuchsia shade in my sextet, because they're the same size pans. But that's the only pan I have for this month, and it's not in my project. But now we get to the fun part and we get to randomly generate. Oh, I should mention, I do have the Subculture palette coming, but I am not adding it to my list quite yet because 1, I don't have it, and 2, it's going to be brand new, and I don't want to immediately like have the chance that I pick a shade from there and I start panning it. Like I want to play with it a little bit first. So this month the number of eyeshadows has stayed the same, but next month it's gonna go up by what I think there's 14 shades in the ABH palettes. But so I'm rolling in 2 from palettes. So as usual, I'm using the Google generator on my laptop. So because I have the header, I'm starting with 2, and I have 414 eligible shadows, and I'm going to pick 2 of those. I need something to write on so I don't forget what shades. Why can I never find a post-it? I've got like 50 post-it pads and I can never find one that when I want to use one. Okay, so we're gonna generate the first. That's number 84, and then the second is number 154. I'm just gonna double check that they are not repeats from this month. Nope. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna re-roll number 84 because remember how I said I've been working on a brow bone shade the entire time? That's another brow bone shade, and I'd rather just unofficially keep this one in the project and pick something else because that's just a little ridiculous. 142. Okay, I think that might be from the same palette. Oh my god. It's another brow bone shade. I'm re-rolling. This is the roulette random number generator gods are trying to tell me something, I think. Okay, 256. Please don't be another brow bone shade. It is not. Okay. So now I get to pick my one single shadow, and I have 195, or 2 to 195 are the eligible numbers. So 7. That, I believe, is a Super Shock. Whoops. It is, oh, okay, well, you know how I was talking about more color? Well, I got it. So I am going to go get these from my collection. So I have the shades, my new shades that I'm going to be rolling in. I'm gonna go get them, swatch them, and then come back and show you what I got. Okay, I've got my 3 new shadows. First, I'm gonna show you the 2 shadows that I rolled, that I re-rolled. The first one I rolled was this brow bone shade from Wet n Wild, the Comfort Zone. And I obviously re-rolled that one. The second shade I re-rolled was Breakaway from the Born to Run palette. So you can see why I re-rolled both of those if I'm already working on my White Peach unofficially. So the next one, my first real one, was number 154, which actually also comes from my Born to Run palette, and it's the shade Smog right here. It's a very nice, like, bronzy color. The next shade from my palette was 256, which comes from my Lorac Mega Pro 2. It's the shade Forest, which is like, on this swatch, probably not the best swatch. It looks more grayish green, but it's a really, like, it's a pine green. And then the single that I rolled in was my ColourPop Super Shock in Ibiza. So here's my color. That's not green or purple, so this is my new color story that I'm working with. I'm actually this reminds me of a very fall kind of palette just because of these 2 right here, the Smog and the Forest. I'll be right out. I'm almost done. This Ibiza, I don't know how easy it's going to be to hit pan on because this is pretty old. It's getting kind of dry, but I have seen Makeup Just for Fun. She has a video where she like can kind of reconstitutes her dried up Super Shocks. I mean, it still has plenty of color. It still swatches. So we will see how well I can do with that. But I'm actually quite pleased because I haven't shown those 2 palettes or the Super Shock nearly enough love, and I will be interested to see what kind of looks I can create with this color story this month. So I hope you enjoyed. If you are doing this project as well, please let me know down in the comments, and I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.